We have some old windows in our 1750 house, and the putty around the windows, the glazing is off, and I actually have some broken windows as well. So I'm in the process right now of restoring. I've already done one of the sashes where I removed all of the panes of glass, burned off the paint, sanded it, etc. And it will be primed with an oil-based primer and then reglazed, put all the panels back in. On this one, I decided not to take out all of the glass because it's a lot of work. Instead, what I'm about to do is just repair, take out those panels that are broken, and then I'll replace those panels. I'll actually burn off the paint on the edges and hopefully just sand the glazedness on the sides here. We'll see how that goes. I'm in the process right now of removing some of the putty from the glazing from the corners. And so what I'm using is a DeWalt heat gun. I actually have it set to 750. Anything more than that, and you run the risk of actually cracking the window. So you want to go very carefully with it. You don't want to leave it on there too long because the heat will definitely break the window. So I'm going to actually change this one. Actually burn this one out and show you the process. It's a matter of trial and error how long you leave the heat gun on for. So I'm actually using a scraper. There's actually a carbide tip. And I'm going to get right in there and pull this puppy right out. Using a 5-in-1 tool to get way down deep into that corner. Get that corner clean because that's where the corner of the glass is sitting. So I like to work with a clean surface, so each time I scrape, I go through and I vacuum it up. Plenty left in there, so I'm going to give it a little bit more heat. You notice I keep the gun moving the entire time. That way it doesn't concentrate too much heat in only one location. Not a lot of putty in there, so I just want to heat it up just a little bit. And hopefully you can see with the camera I'm getting right down to the wood, which is what I want to do. I can be a little bit rough with this one because this paint is actually cracked, and I'm using it as a way to learn how to get the putty out. The most expeditious way possible. And one of the other things you'll find is all old windows, they use what's called glazing points. And I'll see if I can show you one up close here. Basically what that glazing point does is it holds the painted glass in. So when you put the glass in, you actually slide the glazing points underneath. So the trick is when you're trying to take out an old pane is to find those glazing points and actually get them out, because otherwise the glass will not come out. I typically use the 5-in-1 tool or a very thin putty knife to try and pull them out. I know you can't see on this side, so I apologize for that, but I think this is the side that has all my glazing points on it.
Yep, there's the glazing. By keeping the vacuum handy, you can actually see a little bit better along the edges.
Sides are done. Now we're going for the fourth one. This back corner is where I have my crack. Again, I could have been a little bit rougher with this, but this is only the first set of double window sashes that I've actually done this on. So I'm trying to teach myself how to remove the glazing from the glass in a gentle way, so that when I want to save the panes, I can do that and not destroy it in the process. Again, the gun is set to 750. And there's a bunch of other ways you could do this too. I've seen people do it with steam, but I have kind of gravitated to this as a solution. I get a little bit of control with it.
Putty just, once it's softened, and that's really your objective, is to soften the putty, it just pulls it off.
I haven't stumbled across the glazing points yet, but I know they're in here. The other thing is, when the glass is actually bedded into the window pane, there is a bead of glazing that is laid between the glass and the window sash. And when I was removing one before, I found that, I think the previous, whoever worked on this last, had actually used some sort of adhesive as opposed to the glazing compound. So it was a little bit more difficult to get it out. Alright, so now all the glazing is out. Corners are clean. And then what I do is I take the point of the 5-in-1 tool and run it down between the sash and a piece of glass. And then hopefully what I find when I do that is I find the glazing points. I'm not actually finding any in this one. What you want to be able to do is just have it pop right out. Again, I think whoever put this pane in umpteen years ago, a couple of things. One, they didn't remove all any broken glass that was in there, so that's kind of hanging in there as well. I've seen that a few times. And they're using some sort of a silicone adhesive or something that they're to hold the paint in, which is a giant no-no. You gotta be glazing. So what I did last time, I'm going to try it again this time. I heat up the glass from this side, try and soften whatever adhesive is there. You also keep the gun moving the whole time. Now I lift up the sash, kind of get it from this side too. If it is glazing, you just want to soften it. That's your whole objective. Now, silly me, I'm not wearing gloves. I really should be, but we'll see what happens. Looks like it's trying to loosen up. There we go. And that glass is very hot. You can feel it from that gun. All right, there we go. There was no glazing point in there. But what you can see the brown on that? It should be white. So they clearly used some sort of an adhesive to get that on there, which I can guarantee you as I replace these, I'm not going to do that again. So let me move the camera over so you actually see the inside. The bottom line here is, let me turn this around, is you see the pane. So now I'll clean that up so that I can get it ready for the next round. There's some broken glazing here. What I may do is just clean that up a little bit and just re-putty it, as long as the rest of it is pretty solid. But more to come. Check in with you later.